Welcome to this week's edition of Pit Stop with me, Jaco van der Merwe, and joined by Charles Bosch. This week, a very interesting subject which Charles has been following for quite a while. Charles, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to ask you, Junior Hilux. You've used that term extensively. What is it? And tell us more about it.
So, we've used that quite a lot now. So, earlier this year, Toyota unveiled a very back-to-basics bakkie in Indonesia. And forgive my pronunciation, it's called Rangga, I believe.
Rangga.
R-A-N-G-G-A. And it's envisioned as a very back-to-basics workhorse-type bakkie that was unveiled as a concept. They called it a concept. But now there's been a rumor that has emerged from the Philippines that this Rangga could be going into production as early as this year, the different name called the Tamaraw. Now, the Tamaraw is a name that
He's not the guy that plays prop for Samoa at the World Cup.
No. And it's not named after some celebrity or whoever. But the Tamaraw name is actually a renowned or a well-vested name in that part of Asia. It was used on a vehicle we knew as the Toyota Venture, and after that the Toyota Condor, and also the Toyota Stallion of many years ago. So that's the name that they are planning to use for this new compact bakkie, which is they showcased it with a lot of customization options. It was shown not only as a bakkie at this event in Indonesia, but as an ice cream van, as a firefighter, as a light-duty fire truck, as an ambulance. So the whole point is to have a very, if I can use the term, low-cost vehicle that is customizable for everything, but still being a bakkie. So that is what they are envisioning. And if it is so, then we could have this Junior Hilux, if you like, by year end, if it proves accurate.
And of course, just to be very clear, you're talking about internationally.
Yes.
We're not talking about Toyota Motors South Africa.
No.
But obviously, whatever happens and transpires internationally, there's a good chance that it will affect us somehow, especially in the light of Toyota's Leon Tron being on record earlier this year, talking about the more, he called it a more low-cost bakkie, a Hilux version for the African market, he called it back then. But just to be very clear also, we shouldn't be confusing the word junior to any links to a half-tonner.
No.
Obviously, a segment that is with the NP200 going next year,
Yes.
which will be completely vacant, once heavily occupied in South Africa. That'll be so. It'll be a traditional one-tonner, possibly a single cab. Whether or not it'll spawn into more, we don't know. But it's a one-tonner, just stripped down to basics.
Yes. There's a further twist in this tale. So what we knew is that for a couple of years now, it was uncovered in, if memory serves me correctly, in Brazil or somewhere, they uncovered a trademark application for the Stout name. Now, as we know, Stout was a name used a couple of years ago as a predecessor of the Hilux, but it continued to be sold in Japan for a while. But Toyota has not said anything about this Stout name, so it was believed that the Rangga for outside markets could in fact be the Stout. But the other issue here is that Toyota, there's rumors also floating around that Toyota is developing a second bakkie, but this one based on the same platform as the Corolla Cross, which could be coming out in 2025 or 2006, a date which the Junior Hilux, in inverted commas, is also known to make its debut. So you could be looking here at potentially two completely different vehicles for different markets, both either a half-ton or just under the Hilux. But so Toyota they've not denied or said that they are developing two completely different vehicles. But if you believe what the rumor's saying, that is what's possibly happening right before our eyes.
And what would make the Corolla Cross platform so significant, of course, is that that platform has got the option of the hybrid powertrain,
Yes.
which is, of course, available in the Toyota Corolla Cross, which was the first hybrid powertrain for the South African market to be manufactured in South Africa. And obviously, more significant to this whole thing is the fact that both the Hilux, with its current diesel-only powertrain, the mild hybrid, which should be available probably within the next year, and the Corolla Cross, they're all manufactured in South Africa at the Prospecton plant in Durban. So whatever we're talking about here going forward, chances are highly likely it's going to be built here for us.
Absolutely. And in what you mentioned, what Leon was saying, by making it available in other African countries, exporting it, if this Rangao, however you pronounce it, does become the reality that they are saying at the end of the year, assembled from CKD kits from Thailand in the Philippines, we could have basically just seen a preview of what this little junior back to basics, and I know we use the junior term a lot, but that's the only way at the moment you can describe it, since the Ranga name is not... It looks like it's going to be eventually outlawed, issued in favor of Tamaraw. So at the moment, we could have maybe seen the preview of this new small Hilux. But then again, as I said, on the other hand, the the unibody Corolla Cross-based vehicle or bakkie, haven't seen any testing of it, prototype testing. That could also be a viable solution for being built here, as you said, based on the same platform as Corolla Cross. We just have to wait and see if this two-model tier strategy, or two models that Toyota is building, eventually does become a reality, like the rumors are saying.
And, of course, we've got the all-new Hilux proper coming. That's still due around for next year?
2024, 2025. There's no official confirmation yet.
Okay, so all these other developments could be either before or almost the same time, or...
Probably, most likely. As I said, the Corolla Cross, the bakkie version, Toyota's been saying 2025, 2026, with the low cost, let's call it the low cost workhorse / junior Hilux. That was rumored around the same time, but now it looks like it's been ramped up a little bit further, because this has actually been a project coming from 2022, 2021. I can't remember the date correctly, when Toyota unveiled a same principle type vehicle called the IMVO concept in Thailand. This Ranga, whatever you want to pronounce it, is basically a further development of this IMVO, which was unveiled in Thailand to celebrate the anniversary of Toyota assembling vehicles in Thailand. So it's moving on. And if this is indeed the case, then we can only say watch the space. Something might very well happen before this year is over.
You had me at IMV. Bakkie. Should say bakkie, and we're off. Interesting concept. Like Charles said, watch the space in future. Very interesting developments coming out of Toyota, and especially in the bakkie segment. And seems to be a lot of it we can expect. As always, like we said, watch the space and tune into Pit Stop for your latest motoring updates. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm Jaco van der Merwe, and I was joined by Charles Bosch. Cheers.
All right.